Alright. Hey guys, it's Benny from the room, and we're just gonna go over some crosses today. Basically, yesterday me and Mercy were chatting in the chat row, and I was kind of wanting to know what she uses for her trading style, considering the fact she's the best trader in the room in terms of wisdom, and has been here for the longest, and she's seen a lot, put it that way. So basically we were just chatting for a little bit, and she was saying it would be a good idea if we made a video on crosses. Okay, so here we're just gonna go over let's do brush orange. Okay, so this is the, let's just say this is the EU, right? The Euro USD, and this is our orange road, right? Orange road and our gold road. Okay, very, very simple. What's a cross? A cross is when the orange goes above, or when the orange, let me just find, goes, oh crap, goes below. So I should be on this. Okay, so let's say it comes up, or it goes like this. Alright, so what does it mean when you have a cross? Okay, well, a cross kind of acts like a confirmation bonus arrow. Okay, so when you see a cross, when the orange is going above the gold line, this is telling you, hey look, whoopsies, let me turn this around. Yeah, sorry, this is like my first time using this thing, so, oh, there we go. So basically, it's telling you, look, we can predict now that this is going to keep going up. Okay, with obviously your ATM. We'll get into that later though. So when you see a cross, basically it's confirmation that, look, we're going to keep going up for a bit. Right, and then when you see now a cross to the downside, right? Come on, move already. Okay, there. When you see confirmation to the downside, right, when it crosses to the downside, this is confirmation that, hey look, we can be going down. Alright, first step, what you're gonna do is you're gonna find the overall trend. Let's do that right now. So the overall trend is the orange line above or below the yellow line or the gold line. Right, so here we have 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up, 5 up. Okay, so this is a very strong bias to the upside due to the overall trend. Okay, the second thing we're going to do is find the long-term bias. Let's go over here. 1 up, 1 down, 2, 1. Okay, so the trend is down, the long-term bias, sorry, the trend is up, the long-term bias is down. Okay, now the third thing we're going to do is look for the crosses. Okay, over here you have a cross, and this is telling you that it's going to go down for a little bit more. Alright, now in this particular situation we have a strong trend to the upside, but a long-term bias is to the downside. Okay, so basically at this extreme moment I'm kind of looking more for ups, because we have 1 up, 2 up, 3 up with the ATM scores. Okay, and I know this cross is coming down, but I'm going to get in once it goes up. So let's have a look here. Let's just fast forward. Okay, and we have the cross. So we have a cross to the upside. Let's re-evaluate the situation. So the trend is still up with the orange above the gold road, right? So 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up, 5 up. Lots of long-term bias. Long-term bias is still 1 down, 2 down. Okay, but we also have now we also have 1 up, 2 up. If this arrow goes away with momentum, we're going to get it for an up. Okay, or if we get an X confirmation. Okay, okay, here. So this cross back here, over here, and it's obviously doing a pretty good job. Right? It's like your extra confirmation, it's like a bonus arrow. Then we have now ATM scores in our favor, right? Momentum, DX, everything you can enter, right? It's kind of a poor example because it's really close to resistance already, but basically, when you see the crosses on the blue charts, this is going to tell you that, hey look, it's probably going to go that way for a bit longer, as long as your long-term bias and trend are in your favor, right? So, okay, it almost crosses again, but doesn't, and it's still in your favor. So here again, you could have gone in again, as long as you're, actually I would have waited for a few more arrows, but just showing you the power of the cross that we just had way back there. It's still in effect, right? It's still in effect. Now we have 1 up, 2 up. Personally, I would want to wait for 3 up. Okay, and obviously, as you can see, we still have that cross from before, and it's still doing pretty well. Right, now here we have a little bit of a situation, because we have a 4-1 to the downside, right over. Come on, where'd you go? Oh, my bad. It's right over. 1 down, 2 down. There. Okay, so 1 down. Oh, 1 sec. 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. Okay, this is obviously a good time for reversal. It's flat on the 1 hour, 50 minute, and 5. And what's the rule over here? Don't go against the 4-1 with the blues and the yellows. What do we have right here? We have clearly 2 yellows, a 4-1 situation with a blue as well. Okay, and momentum index are coming in play. So this is a good time to enter for a down, in my opinion. I know the cross is still to the upside, but this is where I go, okay, it's time to go down. Okay, so we get down, and look at this, we get a cross, like extra confirmation, right? So we're in a down, we're doing quite well, and yeah, life is good. Okay, extra confirmation, and the session ends. Okay, the session ends, but I look back on my C-Trader platform, and I can see that there's 20 more pips to go downwards. So it went down for 20 more pips, just showing you the thrust of the cross. Alright, so let's go back to now the Euro USD. What is the situation here? It's crossed to the upside, as you can see, alright, but we have a 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down with yellows, 2 yellows, blues with a stupid arrow, and a 4-1 score to the downside. So there is no way on earth I'm taking this up. In fact, I'm taking this down. Okay, and took it down, right? Which is score. Now our bias has changed. Well, first we have to look at our overall score. So 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up. Right? Long-term bias is now 2-1 up. Let me actually back up a little bit. Okay. So now our last cross was still up. Okay, so it's still biased up. So now we can be in effect for an up trade. Right? We have ATM scores with a trend and momentum. Okay, and to the resistance. And when do we get out? We get out either at resistance or when you see a 4-1 score to the downside. Let me just. Okay. So maybe you want to get out again, or it's not quite a 4-1 score, so you could stay in because look, Yeah, almost crossed, didn't cross. This is just showing you the power of the how if it does cross or doesn't cross. And back in you go. Long-term bias is up, trend is up, ATM scores are in your favor, momentum and DX. I do believe DX is in DX is in play, and boom. Right, take it up a little more. One down, two down, three down, four down. You could have taken it down. Come on, over here a little bit more. Right, so maybe we want to take it down. This one's a little bit choppy of an example, but now we have a cross to the downside. With the extra confirmation, it's going to come down. So let's see what happens here. Alright, so you get that cross. Okay, and it came down quite a bit. And it's still not 4-1, sorry. Your long-term bias is still down, but you have one up, two up. No, I think it's still going down. Oh, until you get, one sec, one up, two, yeah, so until your long-term bias changes, then you can consider a up. You have a cross, okay, what's the overall trend? The trend is up. Your best scenario is to wait for these, one up, two up, three up, with momentum and DX and a cross, and okay. Okay, then we have another cross here. This is kind of a choppy example, my bad, but one down, two down, three down. Okay, it's three down, but you have a cross, and the whole point, guys, is when you see a cross and it's new, this is basically telling us, hey, look, just it's most likely going to come down or up for a bit more, and still going down. Okay. Personally, I think it's better to wait for ATM scores with the trend and the long-term bias, and then wait for a cross to the upside, and then you're going to be, I think, extra safe, because it's because you have all those things in your consideration. So an example might actually happen over here. So the UJ, okay, what's happening to the UJ? We have a long-term bias is down, but the ATM scores overall trend is up. One up, two up, three up. Okay, so maybe you say it's a little choppy, or maybe you want to wait for a down. Let's have a look here. So wait for a cross. Sorry, let me go back. Our last cross was down. Can we go down? We have ATM scores and long-term bias with our favor, and our last cross was down, so maybe wait for momentum and DX to get you in for a down. Okay, and there you go for your down trade. Alright, just be careful because this will change. So alright, so let's wait for a cross, and almost happens, doesn't quite happen. Our long-term bias is still down, okay, because of the one down, two down, three down. If this would have crossed, it would have been a good example of what I'm trying to talk about here, but it didn't. Okay, didn't quite cross. So just keep going, and okay, we get a cross. What's the trend? The trend is one up, two up, three up. ATM scores, yes, we do. We don't have a long-term bias in our favor, but we do have this cross. Let's see what happens. Right? And that's the power of the cross. And as you can see, now the 5 minute is starting to cross in your favor. Do you still have ATM scores? Yes, you do. One up, two up, three up. The trend, maybe wait for another burst of momentum. Right? Back there, momentum was in. Okay, and boom. So that's one example there. It's basically the point here, guys, is when you stick with the blue chart trends, it's mainly going to stay that way, right? So if this is, it's a good example, if this is above the gold line, most likely it's going to keep going up. And when you also add the direction of this road, I think that's even more powerful too. Just adding these two together, then I think it's just like boom, extra confirmation. But just to keep it simple, we're just going to focus on crosses. So now we'll go to the UC. What's our overall trend? 1 down, 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, 5 down. Okay? Long-term bias is 1 up, 2 up, 2, 1. Alright? So, any crosses, we just head across to the upside. A long-term bias is in play. We have a 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, 4 up with blues and yellows. So, I'd fancy this for an upside. Okay? Because of the cross, I'd be looking for ups until we get ATM scores with the trend and momentum to the downside. Losing my voice. So as you can see, it's gone up. Alright, very clear. Now we have 1 down, 2 down, 3 down with the trend. Wait for momentum to switch to red. It went to red. DX is also in the red. I get out of my long and in for a down. We have extra confirmation. This is definitely down for me. Right? As you can see, our last two would have gone down for short. The trend is still above. The road is still pointing up, and see how strong that already is, right? Okay, so that's just showing you how powerful that is already in itself. Okay, again, I get in for a down. 1 up, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down with the trend. I still fancy a down. Okay, and there's my down. And we're going to get a cross pretty soon, I do believe. We might. Nope, we don't get a cross, but you could have had a chance for a down over there. This just shows how powerful it is when you stick to the which way is it above or below the orange line on the blue charts and the direction of the 50-minute excuse me, the 50-minute orange road direction, right? So as you can see, that's extremely powerful. Nothing I'd fancy going against. Okay, so I do want to make this video quick, so I hope that's made sense. I hope this has been an eye-opener, hopefully, for some people. Basically sticking with, is it above or below the orange line, and which way is this direction of the road going, right? So I'll just recap, do one last example. It's above the orange line. This is kind of flat, so maybe a bad example. Alright, it's pointing up more, and then you could have gone for your ups. Okay, it's pointing up. Wait for ATM scores with this bias and momentum. So let me just recap. Let me just do another example. Let's just do UJ. So if you want to take UJ down, which would be a good idea because it's pointing down and it's below, then you have to wait for your momentum and the X, right? And then you get in, then you can take it down, right? So then you would have taken it down there, and then you can take it down again. Okay, why? Because the 50-minute orange road is pointing down. You still have your cross to the downside. Your long-term bias is in play. You don't have your overall trend in play, but as long as long-term bias is in play, this is pointing down, and you have the orange line is below the gold line. I think that's quite powerful. So, and I think Mercy and a few others would agree. So, okay, that's just kind of a recap of. I hope this has made sense. If it hasn't, let me know in the chat row. I'll do my best to explain. Yeah, basically this is, I think, better for longer term trading, like 10, 15, 20 pips. But yeah, it's not something I really want to go against. Okay, the direction of this, called with the with also, is it above or below the orange line, right? until you get the cross and until you get this change. So here, obviously, this is pointing up. This is now above, right? You're with the trend because it's 1 up, 2 up, 3 up. Our ATM scores are 1 up, 2 up. So maybe you want to wait for a 3 up. Right, so wait for that one more arrow up there, then you're going to take it up. Okay? So then all these chances to take it up. I hope this makes sense. Let me just give you guys a little I am just going to write this down because I know some people are more visual this way. Let me be quick here. So stick to the 15-minute orange, I spelled that completely wrong, orange road direction. Stick to, sorry guys, stick to the crosses on the blue charts. Okay, so crosses, if it's above the gold, that means go up. If this is pointing up, stick to the up. And finally, but least, stick to the trend or LT bias. Ooh, buddy, B-I-A-S, bias. I hope I spelled this right. So, I think this is super important. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to be more than happy to help you out. Okay, so boom, boom, right? I hope this has been helpful, guys. Really do.